From his early years, I would like to invite you now to the following game of Carlsen against Grandmaster 𝐎𝐩𝐴 in 2003. Carlsen is now at age 12 and he shows exceptional skill in the endgame with two minor pieces against a rook. Usually, the minor pieces are stronger in the middle game, but in the endgame they lack coordination and are poorly sustained. A rook is faster and better in the last phase of the game. However, when you add rooks to both sides, the evaluation changes dramatically. The pieces can then attack the king, and two rooks of the opponent can be forked by a knight or skewered by a bishop. In this game, Carlsen is defending an endgame with two pieces against the rook, where he does not have any other pieces left. Or does he? We will see how he plays. As you can see, I already gave the first move away by 𝐎𝐻𝐻 playing white, c4. Magnus answers with e6, d4, knight f6, knight f3, b6, g3, bishop a6, knight bd2, and bishop b7. I'm not going to focus too much on the opening, except for that we can see he's already playing a very solid line here. Vladimir Kramnik is famous for his quote about chess styles reflecting the character of a person. Well, throughout Magnus's career, he has always found a way to be on the safe side. His winning style is also a very safe one. He's not necessarily winning, he's actually always preventing his opponents to draw easily, and that provokes some mistakes. So it's a very safe winning style. White plays bishop g2, d5. This is actually not the best move in this system. Maybe the young Magnus just improvised, but from my own experience in these structures, I can assure you that black will have kind of a hard time here. White plays c takes d5, e takes d5, castle kingside, bishop e7, knight e5, establishing a nice knight on a great square, also freeing up the diagonal for the g2 bishop, which might become useful for the knight on d2, as we will see. Black plays castle kingside, b3, knight bd7, bishop b2, c5, and now white plays knight d takes c4, and this is a typical move to get an advantage against this structure. The knight plays very central role, it deprives the bishop from the d6 square, and it will actually jump to e5 soon, probably. So Magnus resolves the tension in the center with c takes d4, bishop takes d4, knight c5, knight e3, attacking the isolated pawn, and as you can see, all white minor pieces are in a good position. Carlsen finds himself in a tight spot against this experienced German grandmaster 𝐎𝐻𝐻, but as we will see, he will find a great way to draw. Magnus plays on, knight e6, bishop b2, knight e4, rook c1, and at this point Magnus is playing a very practical move. Magnus plays bishop g5, and he is pinning the knight on e3 and luring the f-pawn forward. Well, the f-pawn is one of these pawns that always secure the king. So after provoking f4 and going back, he has actually provoked a big weakness of the white king. It was useful spending two moves, especially when you're defending. It's good to create some targets. Knight f5, bishop c5 check, immediately making use of this weakness of the king. e3, now e3 becomes a little weak, and the white knights can actually be driven away. f6, knight d3, g6, knight h6 check, king g7, knight g4, h5, bishop takes e4, d takes e4, knight takes c5, and knight takes e5. And now I would like to invite you to find the best continuation for white here. After writing down your variation, I would like you to give an evaluation of the position. So pause the video and solve my little riddle.